I weaved wood because I have magical powers and I know how to bend wood. No, not really. I used a simple technique to build this and I can show you how to do it. Do you want one too? So, follow me and lass uns anfangen.
There's dirt on my hands, strong like a tree. There's roots where I stand.
Guten Morgen. I bought something. And I brought the receipts. Let's check it out. No, it's not a tool, but it's something that gets me just as excited. It's a bunch of lumber. Seeing all this lumber, I hope gets you just as inspired as me to build something. But what lumber exactly did I buy? Well, I got the receipt, so you also know how much I paid for it.
I purchased poplar, 3/4 inch thick and 1 inch thick, cherry, red oak, and maple. As you can tell, most of it is cherry. I got 40 board foot of a 3/4 inch. I paid a total of $421.83. After returning home, while unloading the car, I measured a board foot because it did seem a little bit off, and Peterman Lumber actually ripped me off quite a bit, measuring 40% more than I actually purchased. I reached out to customer service, and 2 weeks later, I still haven't gotten a response. So I don't think there's anything I can do now, but being upset about it, and knowing better for next time that I will measure it myself.
Let's start by picking out the best pieces of lumber. It's heavy. Oh yeah, this is perfect. Let's take this one. That'll do. Let's start the project by cutting this to size. Ugh, I need a bigger workshop. Oh, damn it. Scheiße.
Yeah, I apologize for that, but sometimes you just gotta say it, right? I cut the pieces to size using my miter saw. Once the pieces are shorter, they are much easier to handle on the table saw. I cut the pieces into same size strips. Those strips will make up the thickness of the boards, so cut them as wide as you like to come up with the thickness that you prefer on your cutting boards. For me, that's around 4.5 centimeters. Also count in a little bit extra. That will account for anything that you will lose while planing or sanding, for any unevenness that you created during the glue up, and there will be some. I lined up all the pieces on my clamps, ready for the glue up, using Type 1-3 glue because it's the best glue they offer. Okay, I really have to start remembering storing the glue inside the house and not in my 100-degree garage. This glue is not taking it very well. If you watched my previous videos, I've been using the scraper thingy tool to spread the glue much easier than any other way I've done before. I usually use them to spread resin, but glue works just like it. Before we start with the weaving process, we need one flat board. I prefer side grain for this project, but if you like, you could also just use face grain. I do like to match the grain direction with the pieces that I will glue in between. Sometimes there can be issues if you glue up side grain with the edge grain and end grain, since the wood will expand and contract in different ways, and this can create unnecessary weak points in your project. So it's always a good idea to glue up cutting boards in the same grain direction. Once the glue is dry, it's time to cut. Unfortunately, my bandsaw decided to go bye-bye and did not want to be used for this project. So instead I had to use my CNC machine, which really does a much better job in cutting than a bandsaw blade will do. But the problem is that the only bit was long enough was my 1/4 inch thick bit. And the pieces that I will glue into the gaps will not be a total amount of a 1/4 inch. So the lines will not fully match up in the end, as you will see later. Still beautiful, just not perfect. Those are the pieces that I will use to glue into the gaps that I'm cutting right now. This will give the appearance that I weaved the lumber. The first cut is done and now it's time for the first glue up. I applied a bunch of glue on all sides to make sure nothing stays dry. Then I started tightening the clamps little by little to make the wood piece bend into the shape of the cut. I removed some of the extra glue because I did go a bit overboard. Then I let it dry before I went back to the CNC to make the second cut. I decided I will go with 3 glue ups total, so that's number 2. As you can see, I added a thin wood piece in between the second cut, waited for the glue to dry, and here we go with the third and last cut. And yes, I do wear knockoff Birkenstock in my workshop on occasion. I love how simple and hands-off it is to cut something with Mache Poco. And just like that, it's time for the third and last glue up.
It's a few days later now and the glue has dried. However, I'm not drying in here. It's hot. It's super hot. It's 88 degrees right now and it's supposed to get a little bit hotter. So I'm trying to finish the day soon here.
And now, since all the glue ups are done, we have to figure out a way to make the surface nice and straight. One way is to use a hand planer, or benchtop planer, or CNC machine. Or if you like, you can just sand it until it's smooth, while this will most likely take the longest. I used the CNC, and this is the result. Now it still needs a light sand, but before I like to chamfer the edges. For the sanding, I'd start with 150, then 180, and last 220. And while sanding can be long and boring, let's make it more fun with some good music and hip swings. Once the board was nice and smooth on both sides, I used my handy dandy jig to attach the rubber legs on the bottom side of the board. Make sure you pre-drill the holes. For the finish, I used MeikeMade liquid hydration wood oil, followed by a layer of Mousse Marcos wood butter for a beautiful satin shine that is food safe and will extend the lifetime of your cutting boards. What else could you ask for? Einfach perfekt. And wir fertig! Wow, what a project! I feel like a magician that bends wood. How do you like the project? Please leave me a comment, like and subscribe if you haven't done so. Most importantly, please click the bell button to get notified of new videos. If you can, please join my Patreon, that helps me create more YouTube videos. See you soon, tschüss und auf Wiedersehen!